What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode in the My Player Career Mode. Sorry for this one being a little bit delayed. By a little bit, I mean quite a few hours, unfortunately. Had a problem with my editing software. It took ages for this one to actually get out of it and being able to upload this video to YouTube. So yeah, but we're here today. 5 more games for you guys to watch. 3 in the Premier League, 2 with England in the World Cup qualifiers because we have a problem with England right now. And it looks like we may not get out of the groups as well to be able to get into the World Cup itself. So we'll be playing those games trying to help England advance. And speaking of the World Cup, in real life, as I'm recording this commentary, well, Sweden are beating Germany by 1-0. So as it stands, the defending world champions will be out before the knockout rounds of the World Cup, which is sensational scenes. And if you take a look at it, a lot of the big boys are actually struggling. So hopefully this will, make it good for England. Potentially, we might be looking at a decent run in here for the boys, and I'm feeling pretty confident ahead of that one. But the first game of the episode wasn't a lot to write home about, so yeah, played Chelsea. Ended up being a 0-0 draw. There was really only one highlight, and it actually went to Chelsea, so not really much to show you from game number 1, other than that there. And as I said, it's a bit frustrating when it happens, but if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, it's not the worst result in the world. It could have been, worse than that one, but I'm glad to say that is the only game where there was 0 goals from today's episode. The games do get better from here on out. Starting with Russia taking on England. As I mentioned, the group stage itself is pretty close. You can see right there, England in 2nd place, Russia in 3rd. And I think it was Denmark on top in 1st place. And we actually take on Russia and Denmark today. So going to be taking on the top 3. And we'll see if we can get ourselves into a good position. After this, there'll be 2 more games to go, and hopefully we'll see us advance through. I think Golovin actually started for Russia as well, of course, being one of the standout players for them in this year's World Cup. He starts in a more deeper role for them, though, and it was actually them who took the lead in the game. A sensational strike from their number 10 gave them the lead very, very early on. Only 10 minutes on the clock here, and we already found ourselves a 0-0 down. I've got to say this. There wasn't a lot that we could have done against it. I mean, we gave the ball away, which is the first problem, but then after that, it's just sheer quality from the Russian man. The ball roll eventually gets him in, and the strike is sensational. Keeper's not going to get anywhere near it, and it ends up giving the lead to Russia. So we're having to fight back from a 0-0 down to get anything out of the game. And interestingly enough, Southgate actually named Ben and Dele Alli in the same team. He put Ali up front and put Ben just in behind him, and it just so happens it was Ben who got the equaliser for England. A very similar situation to the Russia opener. He was in a similar position, had to beat the defender. He does it a little bit differently with a different skill move. And instead of going up in the air, he decides to keep his shot down low. But the same outcome happened. So 1 apiece here in this first half. The game was a lot better than the starting game against Chelsea, that was for sure. Obviously 0 goals over there and only really 1 chance to show you. But this one was very, very close. And just before the break, we did have the chance to actually take the lead in the game. A nice pass through from Ben, finding its way to the right-hand side. I think it was Raheem Sterling in the end who hit his effort goal-bound. But this time it was met by a very good Russian save. So, yeah, 1-1 apiece here. And England looking the more likely and the more threatening at the moment to find this second goal. But as I say, that second half began, Russia created another opportunity. It was actually their goal scorer going close. This time the woodwork denying him from what would have been Russia's leading goal. So both teams definitely in this one. It could go either way, but it just so happens with 15 minutes left, Ben again picks up the ball in a really dangerous area, gets it onto the left foot, and really I think here he should score. I've got no doubts about it. He worked the chance really well, and I feel like that should have been England 2, Russia 1. 90 minutes on the clock, last chance saloon now for England as they go forward again. Calm, composed, and nice finish from Ben. Makes it 2-1, and they stole it at the depth. You can see the celebration there, and it was so harsh on Russia, who'd been brilliant all afternoon. They caused problems. They were in the game as well. But when you've got players who will fight right until the end, and I've got to say this about Ben, he was the most cool player on the pitch. Kept his composure when he needed it the most, and he found England's winner to make it 2-1. And with that, that was the end of the game. So the victory for England now sends them in front of Russia, and they do actually have a gap, so they would just need to beat Denmark, and they will take over as top spot. So back on track to secure qualification to this upcoming World Cup, which is actually 2026. And I did mention to you guys, I'm not sure whether or not Ben will be playing in that one. Well, if he does, the likelihood is I will sim the majority of the season to actually get to that World Cup. That's probably going to be the way we do it, because I know a lot of you guys want to see him play in another World Cup, and that's most likely going to be what happens. So whether or not we actually get there, whether or not he's going to be picked, we'll have to wait and see. Of course, you could actually do this now, and then him not actually even get picked for the World Cup, but that's highly unlikely. So we'll see. England may not even get there. We'll have to see if they do beat Denmark here, who at the moment are the most informed team in the group itself. Really good team that Denmark have got. It's the 5 at the back. Dolberg at this point as well is a capable striker. I'm a fan of Højbjerg as well, the Southampton man. They've got a really good squad, have Denmark. And it showed because they started off the better of the sides. Kasper Dolberg, speaking of the striker, he forced Botland into an early save here. And he matched it very well indeed, did England's number 1. However, England grew into the game and they would find their first chance not so long after. 17 minutes in, bending towards the penalty area, brought down. It's a really poor challenge by Vestergaard and it's a definite penalty kick. You can have no complaints with the referee as he goes over and books him, and Yannick Vestergaard gives away a spot kick. So it's going to be England with the opportunity from the penalty spot to try and find the opener, and it just so happens Ben will be the man to actually take this. Surprisingly enough, he's on penalty duty for England. Not on free kick duty, though, which is frustrating. He steps up against the goalkeeper, looks to send it to the bottom right, and he sends the goalkeeper the wrong way as well. A very composed penalty, and that's something that you can say about Ben. His composure is second to none. Moving into, though, another Denmark chance. This one from Pion Sisto, who strikes the woodwork with a distance effort. He's an integral part of my Celta Vigo save, and you can tell he's got bags of quality. Very nearly finding an equaliser for Denmark, but for the post to deny him. And again, we move into the second half where it was as open as the Russia game, this one. Here is the latest chance coming from Tammy Abraham, and he should have done better. 22 minutes left. He should have found the target and forced the keeper to have to work. The through ball from Ben, though, did actually take a deflection. Maybe that put him off, but he's still a lot of time to actually think about it. So, yeah, for me, he's got to do better with that strike, and he should have found the second goal. And into the 90th minute we go. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough time for Denmark to actually find an equaliser, and England did go on to win the game. So, means that England now top the group. They put themselves in pole position to try and find themselves a way into that World Cup, I guess, what would you call it, knockout rounds, even though there is technically still a group stage to work into. But yeah, the 2026 World Cup, hopefully we'll see Ben there in the near future. Now we're back into the Premier League games where we're still looking to secure a Premier League title with Arsenal, of course. And as it stands, talking about top spots, Arsenal currently hold it. Liverpool in close possession behind them in second place. But if they win here against Everton and then win in their final game, you can see there is a point gap between Liverpool and Arsenal. So they definitely need to try and keep up the pressure, make sure they're winning and forcing Liverpool into having to match their results. It's a 5 at the back for both teams. Everton side again, I always say this, they buy very well, they do pretty well as well, and it's another very good team. And this one was a lot quieter than the 2 England games that we watched. Not a lot happening in the first half. It took until the second when a nice Arsenal passing move finally opened the Everton back line. Lamar bursted through on one-on-one, and he would find the opener right in that second half. I've got to give credit where it's due. The through ball from El Neni was perfect. Absolute perfection. And you don't really associate it with El Neni sometimes, with the holding midfielder, but he plays it first time. Nicely weighted pass. Lamar gets in, and if he hadn't have scored, there would have been serious problems with that one. But it was Arsenal 1, Everton 0. With that goal going in, though, it sparked Everton into life. Ross Barkley here with the latest chance for them. His thunderous effort, though, not on target. In his defence, he was put under a lot of pressure by the Arsenal man there coming across him. And you could have possibly said that it was a free kick, but nothing given from the referee. From that point forward, though, it was all Everton. Martinez looking here to try and set up Funes Mori. He does that, but the defender can't get his strike on target, puts it wide, and it pretty much was a bad day at the office. In fact, I don't even know if that is the defensive Funes Mori or if that is actually the striking one, because, of course, there is two. We have the striker, who is his brother, and there is, of course, the defender anyway. So, yeah, it could have been the striker version, I guess. I'm calling it like he's got cards and all my team. Nevertheless, anyways, Arsenal then went 2-0 in front as Ben got inside down the left, and he cut it back onto his weaker right foot and would finish it off for his, I think, 30th goal on his weak right foot. So, I'm pretty sure that gives him now a 3-star weak foot. Finally! We've been explaining this so long, having 2-star weak foot. And finally, he has a 3-star. So nice to say. But still, Arsenal 2, Everton 0. Unfortunately for Everton, their fight back in the second half is not enough to get them anything out of the game. And it is Arsenal who actually came away with 3 points. So Liverpool, what are you made of? Because you need to match this result to keep up the pace with Arsene Wenger's men. Of course, in real life, Arsene Wenger is no longer the Arsenal manager. I wonder where we'll see him go in the world of football. I'm sure he'll come back and manage again. Question is, who will he go to? But the final game then, guys, comes at Selhurst Park. Palace against Arsenal. Of course, this is a London derby. Both teams being in London. And it's going to be a tough one, this one. Because, again, Palace are one of those sides that seem to do okay. They buy pretty well. They always have a solid team, and they can cause problems. You can see here another 5 at the back. We always love these 5 at the back. Loftus-Cheek is actually a Palace man as well now. Very good signing for them. I think maybe he does have to leave Chelsea in real life to potentially get some more game time. Who knows? Maybe he'll get some at Chelsea, but I don't really know. And I feel like, yeah, he's good enough to be able to play in a Premier League side right now. Speaking of which, Ben Wood going close here. 30 minutes on the clock, forcing a save from the Palace man. Again, we speak about the games and we take a look at them, and I said there was no more goalless games in this one. Well, there's not a goalless game here at Selhurst Park because one of the two teams do come away with a goal from this one. But who was going to get it? Well, with the chances early on, it looked like pretty much Arsenal were dominating the play. Question marks about this one. There was an appeal, I think, from one of the two of Palace boys for offside. Their offside flag stayed down, and after Ben played in Gabriel Barbosa, he took full advantage and managed to find the top corner. You can see here, I don't think it's offside. One or two of the Palace boys had a little word and, kind of appeal for it. But what a finish from Gabriel Barbosa. The cheek to do that and smash it top bins is brilliant. And again, the finish was world class from him. Definitely deserved to go in, and Arsenal took the lead in the game. And just before half-time, they had an opportunity to find a second, but for the second time in the game, Ben would be denied by another good stop by the Palace goalkeeper. Got to say as well, he had a good game, the Palace man. Saved quite a few things, was dominant in his box, came out and punched from corners and crosses he dealt with very well. So to be a 0-0 down at half-time, he didn't really feel like it was very fair on the Palace man. But unfortunately for him as well, it would actually be the defeat. Palace losing by a 0-0 here at Selhurst Park. Arsenal with the job done. Weren't convincing, but at least they did what they had to do, as you can see there. The only chances is the chances that I showed you. The 2 saves by the Palace goalkeeper and, of course, the Barbosa goal. So that is how we end today's episode off, guys. If you did enjoy it, a like would be greatly appreciated. As I said earlier, apologies for the massive delay on this video. Don't know why it took so long for my editing software to actually put this one and get the it rendered out. But still, I will see you all again from tomorrow again, guys, with another video. I'm not sure what time it will be. Of course, England play, so I will be watching that game. Maybe it might be a little bit delayed tomorrow as well, but we'll see. If you're new around here, like what you see, the subscribe button is down below. Catch you all again soon. Adios.